I want to let you know I switched over about 15 seconds ago so everyone could see Brian doing this stupid thing with his nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cut that shit.
Hello.
We are live.
Greetings. And welcome to an
Oh,
EatDrinkRoll
look at how
one
cool
shot.
it looks.
This is actually part 2 of our one shot.
Yep.
Two
Because
shot.
we play by the Douglas Adams rules. Anyway, today we'll be revisiting Faerun By Torchlight, our Faerun Noir setting. I am your host, or not host, but dungeon master for this evening, Brian Wiggins, otherwise known as the Saint Brian. We should go around the horn real quick and have everyone introduce themselves briefly. And to my right,
That would be me, I think.
Mhm.
No, you're pointing left there, dude.
I know, but down here it looks like I'm pointing right.
Well, fine.
Yeah.
I'm Bob
Shut
the
up.
Goldfish. I will be playing the Goliath rookie, Meat. He does have an actual name, but no one can pronounce it. So the fact he used to be a beat cop, everyone started calling him Meat, and it's just kind of stuck. Before we go any further, I want to apologize to everybody watching. I had been doing a bunch of regular daily streams over the last week or so. I've been really sick, so I've not wanted to do them. So hopefully I will start picking those up again tomorrow with Monkey Monday. Let's go below me, just because I know which way I'm pointing there.
That would be the cleric.
Oh, is it me? I'm sorry. I thought it was Clues.
Clues is that way.
Okay, I understand.
Plus, well, no, on the screen you're that way
Okay.
to me.
I know. I'm trying to think of where you would be on
That way.
the stream.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I am
You'd
playing.
be that way.
Yeah.
There. Bob's that way.
I'm playing the green dragonborn Noman, who is affectionately referred to as Norman by Meat. I am the connector, the forensics expert, and I'm enjoying sending fish heads to our lovely perp. Let's kick it over
Delicious
to
fish heads.
delicious fish heads. Next,
And to his right, we go over to the goat.
Hello.
the goat.
I'm Viking Goat. I am playing Percy, who has a penchant for sitting perps down in an office and pretending like nothing is happening while terrifying things happen behind him. Meat likes to call him Paul.
Sure.
But that's okay. And then above the goat, joining us in Faerun by Torchlight for the first time, we go to Clues.
Let's see. I am Clues. I am playing a half-elf charmer. What?
Zoom just went a bit crazy
Ah?
on my computer for a minute. Keep going.
Oh.
Keep going.
Everything's fine.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. Wow. Things. Yeah. Anyways,
Zoom's having a bit
named
of a headache.
Elytrana,
Sorry, folks.
and that's all the info I have right now.
Well, that's all that you're going to reveal, right? Because you know what kind of character you're playing. And
Yeah. Well, I know all this stuff, but that's all we're gonna say for now.
Okay. So the game last time was set into motion with a murder most foul,
bum bum bum.
where a moderately successful and apparently important merchant was found murdered in a bizarre fashion. We have a question already.
I would like to petition to not call him a merchant, but call him a creepazoid.
Merchant. These are not mutually exclusive. They could be both merchant and creepazoid. He was found murdered in bizarre fashion in his study. And when the team was called in late at night to start investigating, to look into this, they determined that the most likely suspect was his son, Bertram vanDyne.
Bertram.
Bertram.
It says here you have not paid your taxes on your house or your car.
You don't have a
Right.
building permit for that? It's too bad.
He was brought in for questioning. It turns out there was a bit of a history with Bertram and Meat having removed him from bars for bad behavior, we'll call it.
Specifically, abusive behavior.
Abusive behavior, both just for him being a rich boy Ponce, as well as being a general poor human being. And when we left things off, we were mid-interrogation, or we had just wrapped up part one of the interrogation, where Percy was starting to tenderize his mind a little bit with
I like that. Tenderize the brain.
with NUI. While Meat got bored and started psychologically abusing him, and then eventually,
All I did was say his name.
But you also said you're going to be
pound
an
on the
avenging
door.
angel.
That was just me knocking. Couldn't hear it.
And
No
these
one said
guys-
come in.
And
No
this is
one
what
said
happened.
come in. You don't just like you just knock till someone replies, right?
Here's usually how it works.
usually, and we had left with Meat and Bertram in a bit of a stare down in the cell, left alone. Percy had left to go take care of some other things.
Also known as eat my sandwich and watch the ridiculousness
And,
through
like,
our magic two-way mirror.
Come join the office pool that's happening in the cop room behind that mirror.
In the
Like we're like
observation
eating
room.
chips and shit, and we're just like, this is the best.
So, Elytrana, you have housings within Baldur's Gate,
Right.
and you get a knock at your door. It's probably a few hours past midnight when someone knocks at your door, and it's a messenger who's been sent to you and tells you that at the request of the the Grand Duke, specifically, hang on, I know which one it is. I'm not lying. I didn't make this up.
No, Wizards of the Coast.
Bartolomeo, Grand Duke Bartolomeo's has sent a messenger requesting your presence for a interrogation at the, for lack of a better term, the local precinct.
Okay.
Knowing that, and that's pretty much all the information they've passed along to you at this point. So you have been summoned to the local town watch precinct to lend your skills.
Okay. I'm assuming I know this Grand Duke Bartolomeo.
Not personally. I mean, he's one of the Grand Dukes that run Baldur's Gate. Generally, you're not used to receiving. You're usually not given your job. You're usually not going to receive messengers sent to your house at 2:00 in the morning directly from the Grand Duke. So it is a little out of.
That's a little weird.
It is a little weird.
Is there like an official seal? Do I recognize any of this where I just
Yes.
believe it?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then I'm just gonna get dressed and head to the precinct-ish or adjacent precinct.
Okay. So you get like dress uniform, because you're like very
Dress
professional.
uniform.
Right?
I'm professional, very
Yep.
clean, tidy,
Mm-hmm.
Not chaotic Nutella.
not chaotic Nutella.
Not,
This is
not
very
that.
Straight line, nice, crisp.
Ooh, I like
So,
that.
yes, crisp.
Crisp.
Yes.
With a
No, that's Norman, not Chris.
But I
It's not who
well,
that
I
is.
could go for some crisps.
No.
That would go
Shut
good
up.
right now.
Shut up, Dobby.
Nobby.
Oh, forgive
Nobby.
me. Forgive me.
So you head on down to the precinct. It's a pretty it's a cool evening. It's off and on rain. So the streets are still a little wet from the misting rain that had apparently blown through maybe about an hour or so ago. Most of the lights are kind of like low, sputtering. You know, the lamp keepers aren't at this time of night aren't keeping them all of them lit in your neighborhood. But you do end up getting to when you get to the precinct. It's a very quick walk. If you've ever walked around a city at that time of night, like in the center part of a city, it's actually can be very peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine my character would live close to her job as well.
Yeah.
Almost
For you,
so.
it's you've got like your normal route where you go and you've got the cafe you hit in the morning when you're usually heading into
Gotta
work.
get my latte.
Yeah,
Gotta get...
So you have
I'm seeing, like, I know what your character is, but
Mhm.
in my head, I'm seeing Mariska Hargitay from SVU.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
But
so
that's completely not what your character would. Anyway.
well,
Visually.
I could see there being a Mariska Hargitay look. She has a look to her that could work. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so maybe for you this was basically like almost like a head clearing thing. This is, you're a little off because it's not your morning ritual of being able to go get your latte. You're probably very tired because you haven't gotten your full. I forget. You haven't gotten like your normal rest.
Oh yeah, half
so-
elves. I don't think it's only full elves that get the whole 4-hour meditation thing. I think I still need sleep.
You sleep, so you're kind of like you're together, but this is like
I'm annoyed that I'm awake.
yes, but it's
Like,
it's
this
also
is some bullshit, but you've
Yeah.
got it under control.
This is
So you-
off my schedule, and I don't like that.
yes. So you come in, so you get to the precinct. The guards recognize you; they let you in. You walk in and you head down towards the interrogation room, where there's a group of town watchmen. You recognize Nobby and Clanger, two beat cops that'll occasionally you'll see them as they're coming in and out, bringing suspects in and out and whatnot. They're hanging out in the observation area where there's like a scrying pool where you can see into the other room, see the interrogation happening. You recognize Percy and Noman outside there. You're all familiar with who these folks are. You don't necessarily work directly together, but it's not like, oh, who is this cop? I've
Right.
never seen them before.
So, like, when this person walks into the room, like, my thought is that all the laughter and the good time that we were having stops.
Yeah, like one
It's like,
person-
oh,
like
okay,
Clanger
okay,
notices-
clear out, everyone leave, just us now, leave. No, you leave the chips. Go.
Yeah, like Clanger first notices, like when you first come in, when you first get there, like Clanger's like the first one to turn around and notice, and he quick like nudges Nobby, and like Nobby, like they're like kind of like
Nobby's in the middle of saying something horrendously offensive.
yeah.
And he's like,
Just stops.
So yeah, so maybe describe to people what they're seeing when you walk into the room here, Miss Elatrana.
So
This
I'm
is the
walking into
interactive part of
interrogation
Dungeons and
room.
Dragons.
So, like,
Well,
what do
am
you
I
look
walking
like?
into the interrogation room?
No, you're walking into the observation room where they're watching from a scrying pool.
Okay. Well, if I'm walking in and if they're like kind of horsing around, I'm gonna get that almost that mom look. Like
yeah, and it works.
and I'm
did a good
basically
job.
calling for silence. So I can are
It's
the
like a clearing
who
of the
did you say
throat.
was- Yeah.
So two
Ahem.
of the beat cops are in there, Nobby and Clanger. You got Percy, who's the only. Well, Nobby and Clanger are human. Percy is human.
Nobby is human.
His knuckles may drag a little bit, So why don't we just take a moment here, because the idea is that you would not be you're not going to walk into an interrogation without getting the lay of the land first, of knowing what's been said
Oh
already.
no, I want to know info first.
Yeah. So why don't we take a moment here? This would be a good opportunity for everyone to sort of describe their characters a little bit. One, for the folks who are just joining us, and two, because we have some new characters that are joining, and we'll go from there.
So Noman, being a dragonborn and a green one at that, is sort of used to the heat in the swamp environs. So his traditional dress is like his uniform is kind of more of a loose fitting, short sleeved, easy to move around in. He doesn't wear boots. He just has his bare clawed feet. And he's at the moment is like has both of his feet propped up like on a table and is leaning back in a chair, and like has like a really foul smelling dish of something ahead of him because the green dragon diet.
Yeah.
He's a green dragon. He eats gross shit. It's like probably like pickled eggs and fish heads, and he's just like popping them in his mouth.
Pickled eggs are good.
Looks
No, they
and
are
smells vile, but
and he's just like he's eating them like candy. This is just fantastic. And so his mouth is like full, and he's in the process of swallowing because dragonborn don't have cheeks or lips, so they don't chew. They just bite off chunks and swallow. And so he's like got this bulge of shit in his throat, and he's like, oh. And he immediately puts his feet down and like sits forward in the chair and sets the bowl on the desk, and then like quickly like throws his head back and swallows that stuff. Like,
I walk in and see this, and it's just kind of like a eye roll.
yeah.
You're probably familiar with Dragonborn anatomy, at least.
Yeah.
So this is
Yeah, that's why it's an eye roll.
So he sets that down and goes, what would your official title be? Inspector? Special agent? What are we gonna
What'd you give me?
special
Inspector.
agent.
Special agent?
Special
Oh, man,
agent.
we're so close to the X-Files at this point.
He actually starts to stand up from his chair and then like thinks about it and he's like, should I stand up? I've already kind of fucked this up. Should I commit? So he finally decides he will stand
halfway, kind of like
up. He's like, okay, standing up now. Special agent, thank you for coming. We didn't know you were going to be here. I'm Noman, Detective Noman. These two were just leaving. He points at Clanger and Nobby. And like does the get the fuck out of here.
and they do not require any invitation whatsoever.
Yeah, they saw her walk in and they're like, oh fuck, it's time to leave.
Yeah, Elytrana has an intimidating reputation. Like if she's coming into an interrogation room, people know why she's coming into an interrogation.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's bad. So that's what he does.
Percy,
is that all?
Percy's trying to figure out whether or not to put his cigar out. He just lit cigar like 5 minutes ago.
Oh shit!
He's like, well, no, it's already lit. He's just like,
oh,
I've got like this much cigar left. I'm like,
fuck it.
Whatever.
She'll be fine.
I'd probably, since my character's very
straight-laced.
Electron is very, again, with the crisp, she's probably going to give the, little bit of a scowl.
I have this vision in my head of from Daredevil. What's her name? The lawyer. She was in the Matrix.
Oh,
Carrie-Anne Moss. Is that her name?
Carrie-Anne Moss. Yeah, I don't. remember
her character from the Netflix Marvel show is just sort of like this very walks in and just owns the room.
Yeah,
very.
Yeah.
Nice,
I don't like it. I mean, like I like it, but like it hurts my spirit.
I don't like it, but I like it.
It hurts. My spirit is wounded.
Is it just because it's the complete opposite of what I've been playing?
No, it's more along the lines of like I was like Noman was like not behaving professionally at all, and now there's a professional in the room, and now it's a problem.
Oh shit, Bob's here. Behave.
Oh fuck.
contrary, Percy recognizes you as like slightly higher up in the food chain, but he should all that means is he just has to mind his P's and Q's. He just does not give two shits.
He's that
like it.
kind of a hard-boiled
I
ass.
like it.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
What does he look like?
Jeez, I haven't even. Well, okay, so he recognizes the fact that he has to shave because it's part of the job, but he only recognizes the fact that he has to shave like maybe once a week, whenever, just enough so that he doesn't get hassled by it. So while he's at it,
corpses. Yeah.
yeah. So while he's at it, he also, when he goes to the barber, he's like, "Fine, just do the entire thing." So he has effectively stubble everywhere.
He
It's
just
all
wants
very
deal with
efficient.
it. He just doesn't want to deal with it.
5 o'clock
Yeah.
shadow everywhere.
But it's
His head is
Up his
sandpaper.
eyelids, like up his nose.
eyelids. It's like zzz, 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 zzz.
You could
all
light
of
a
that.
match off his scalp. Just
You probably could not tell that he has like stubble on his head because he's always wearing his helmet. He's like, I don't care where you are, somebody's gonna hit me upside the head. I'm wearing my helmet.
He's
Yeah.
ready.
we're at dinner. Fuck you, helmet.
He's like, yeah, I remember a time. No, it's not coming off.
Don't have to wear your stab vest in the pub, Lieutenant.
Yes, you do.
What kind of pubs have you been in?
You ever been
Uh,
The good ones.
Effectively, he's been at this whole cop thing long enough that basically he's like, anything's going to kill me at any time. I'm going to smoke my cigars, and I'm going to just do my job. I don't care what you want.
Noted.
That's how he looks, or he doesn't look like that, does he? I guess that's what he's like, I guess.
So imagine
but yeah.
Columbo.
Imagine
Yeah.
Columbo
Essentially,
with
And-
less hair.
with
with less hair
and
and
no
both
cross eyes.
eyes.
and less congenial.
And less congenial. Nice.
Yeah.
So House with
Hugh Lowry, but a bigger bastard.
Hugh Laurie.
Sorry, Laurie.
Hugh Laurie. Lowry. Isn't
I'm
that
sorry.
season?
Mike Lowry.
so Elatrana, when you walk in, what do they see?
Let's see. They're gonna see, what would I be? Probably about 5'7", half elf. So you get a little bit of the pointy earness. Clean cut. She's in her business. What, I don't know. Do we have a color for our
You would
Precinct.
probably have like a
black or
badge
dark
something.
blue?
Yeah, I like that. Black, dark blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Black, dark blue, very, very clean cut. Yeah, probably a badge. Or no, she would probably have it, wallet type scenario.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, not anything that would clash or be too shiny. He pulled back hair real tight, or clean cut.
Mhm. So it's out of the way.
What color hair?
Yeah. Let's see. She'd probably be like me, kind of on the darker end.
I don't
Uh-oh.
even know what he's rolling for.
What's
That's-
going on here?
that's
Do you
gonna
have a
come in
meat
later.
table? Does there's a table for how meat reacts to people?
Reaction table. Ah.
I've kind of got an idea in my head, yeah.
Okay. Let's see. What I'd probably have not clipboard, but some kind of small.
Like a folio.
Yeah,
Like a folio
Some
something
form
to-
of manila folder.
a manila.
So when you walk in and you see the scrying pool, and in there you see what appears to be the suspect, and he was. You can't tell if he's been roughed up or not. It just might be that it's late. If I remembered, he wasn't. I don't think anyone was physically abusive
No,
to
he
him when they
was
brought
pretty
him.
much pulled out of bed, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not very nice.
Out of a gutter. They found him in the. Remember, they found him in
Okay,
the
yeah.
Yes,
gutter.
Oh,
did.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And we did sort of terrorize him for about.
But we did
45
not get physical with him in any way.
No.
No,
It's all in his
True,
mind.
not a finger was put down.
But if you can imagine
So he looks okay.
the weasel face of every 80s movie teen villain, that's this guy.
Ugh, gross.
Like, he has this look about him where
Meat punches him. No.
yeah, no, but that is the reaction. That even when you look at him, your first reaction is you just really want to punch him right in his stupid mouth. That's just, he has this like look about him that even though he's been slightly
Got
cowed,
that douchebag face.
yeah, he does. He's got resting douche face. And even though he looks like he's been through some part of an interrogation, he still kind of has this look about him, this air that's I'm better than you type situation.
We're gonna work on that.
And he's like sitting at this table in the chair, and he's very purposefully keeping the table between him and this hulking Goliath that's sitting on the ground in front of the door, but is still eye level with him.
Directly opposite him on the table.
Oh, I thought you were sitting on the ground. Okay, so sitting. So it's not even, and you can see he does not want to look up to make eye contact with him. So he's staring like dead ahead because he refuses.
He's kind of staring at my nipples.
Yeah, kind of in this area.
Okay.
Oh, God.
So meat. What is the visage that we see?
All right, so I'm actually getting the feeling that
You're being watched.
no, I kind of get the feeling that Cluse's character and Meat might know each other
Oh.
because he's not very good at interrogating. So when he captures someone or collars someone, they're gonna call in someone better than him.
Ah, okay.
So
I
I
like
think
it.
they might have at least a bit more familiarity than he might have.
Well, he just
he might
started.
have with the other
He's
two.
a rookie.
No, but he's been a beat cop
That's
for
right.
A long time.
for
So
like
there's been some
5
overlap
years.
there.
So like
That's
when
right.
he's been bringing in like perps and criminals and like robbers.
He's been
and
throwing
stuff,
them in her.
He's been
at
throwing them
her
in
business.
jail and go get me, like because he's not.
That would make sense.
Or it'd be a case of where they were brought in and they realized this requires a greater degree of interrogation. They'd be
Yeah.
like, "Meat, take him down to the other precinct,"
Yeah.
because they didn't want him to escape. And it was
And
like,
it's
okay,
under one arm. I will.
yeah, exactly, like over the shoulder,
So you would see
drag him by an ankle.
what you know is Meat. He's like an 8.5 foot tall, bald-headed, light grey skinned Goliath. He's about 6 feet wide, and it's all muscle. Tone.
He's almost cube, 8 by 6 foot.
Yeah, like
If you could make
imagine
a wall
Brock
into a person,
Lesnar. Imagine Brock Lesnar, but way more muscular defined and not quite so pudgy, and without the nice
Like
tattoo
A
pointing at his mouth.
beefier Brock Lesnar and Butterball had a baby.
No, because he's not. There's not an ounce of fat on his body. Like,
That's
he
what I'm
is
saying. Had
all
a
muscle.
beefy child.
Yeah.
That's who'd be.
You're Wolverine scaled up 4 times.
Yeah. He's just. It's all muscle.
like the skin is actually like drawn taut over, like
Yeah.
yeah,
Ugh.
it's like you could do like anatomy lessons in musculature.
That connects to
Here's
that.
this vein.
He's also wearing what? Now he knows he's been promoted, right? He got a big bust about 3 or 4 months ago, and he got promoted to the detectives department. But it's a little bit of a minority hire as well, because he's not that smart, but he's very much this. He's very enthusiastic and he can focus very well, but he's wearing like the watch uniform. He's not wearing like detective's clothes.
I was about to say because they couldn't afford to pay.
Yeah,
They
pretty
might not
much.
be able to find them.
No, just a quick thing. Is the body hair scale for something? No, Goliaths can't grow body hair.
Did not know
Oh, okay.
That's
I was
why-
getting ready to ask if they were
Yeah,
hairless.
that's why there's a big deal if anyone's
He's
ever
a
watched, if
salamander.
anyone's ever watched Critical Role. There's a big deal about Grog growing a beard when he gets his belt of dwarven kind, because Goliaths can't grow body hair. So
Interesting.
So anywho, that is the scene we have in front of us now.
Oh, and just to give you the thing, he's literally sitting there like this, as if he's made out of stone, just staring at this dude, just like, I was told to watch you, so I'm gonna.
if it were possible to light someone on fire with vision,
What?
that's the look. That is the look that Meat would be giving this guy.
You would also probably know that Meat and this guy have a history, since you've worked with Meat before.
Yeah, that's not
Okay.
gonna be. That's pretty.
I think
common.
everyone in all the precincts know that Meat and this guy have a history.
And I live in the bar that he gets thrown out of on a regular basis.
Oh, nice.
I live in the basement of the Stank Bug, which is the bar. Yes, it is the
Yep.
Stank Bug. Not Stink Bug, Stank Bug.
Stank bug.
Stank Bug.
Stank.
Okay.
Stank.
My name's Bug.
So we have a
Stank
scrying pool essentially that sees into the room where Meat and Mr. Bertram is.
Yeah, think like the two-way mirrors from modern cop shows, but it's a scrying pool instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a scrying pool on the wall, not actually like
Yeah.
a pool.
Yeah. It's they
Okay.
mystically attached this
Oh,
thing.
it's like one of those rain walls that you get in like modern.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Cool.
Yeah, where the water just—it's like, yeah. Oh, I like that. Yeah.
So it's a waterfall. Okay.
Yeah. Very quiet though. It's
Okay,
not like
so-
it's not like make you pee waterfall.
It's not noisy.
It's actually quite relaxing.
So I guess when I come in, I'm gonna see that Meat's in there, and I'm gonna see who it is, and just be like, oh God, what are we in here for? Why is he here again? And I want to look at the what was Dragonborn's name?
Noman.
Noman. I'm assuming that you're gonna have information, so I just kind of want to look at you and be like, okay, what do you do now?
He stands up a little straighter, like fucking tries to figure out if like he needs to brush himself off or if that's gonna look real bad. He's got like some pickled juice reek happening.
Oh God.
He's like, he's trying not to breathe in your
You
direction.
see him like lick it off.
Like, oh shit, I can't be doing that either. Oh no.
Percy hands you one of the many napkins that you did not notice were there.
Yeah, and I'm just like, so he's like wringing his hands dry. Bertram is here again because his father was found murdered tonight. Over the course of our investigation, we learned that he and his father, the deceased, had a pretty aggressive row about some monetary issue.
Money.
Yes, that. And at the present, he's one of the few suspects that we have, so we're in the process of eliminating him.
Okay.
Classic daddy cut him
Has
off, and
anyone
now so he cuts off
actually
daddy.
Interrogated him.
I haven't been in the room. Percy.
Why is Meat there?
I told him.
Yeah, Percy let Meat know to just keep an eye on him.
Okay.
Percy's been the.
Mind you, Electronic, you do see a plate of fish heads that was sent into the room sitting next to Bertram that he is also trying to ignore.
Fish heads. Okay.
That look suspiciously like the same ones that Noman was gobbling down.
Now, mind you, everyone that is watching and listening, I did not watch last week for a reason because I wanted this to be legit, all real reactions. Okay, fish heads. I'm gonna assume I'm gonna look at fish heads.
Fish heads.
Right. Well, they're kind of a
Does she say that
delicacy.
out loud? Does she say that out loud? Does she say that out loud? Like fish heads.
Yeah, I'm gonna fish heads.
Well, it's what we had on hand, and he hadn't had food yet, and figured
Prisoners
Meat or Bertram.
requires meal.
Completely
I-
ignoring the fact that Paul is eating his sandwich.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, that's his
They're
sandwich. That's
eating
his
like a
sandwich.
really good looking sandwich. I mean, we actually rolled for the sandwich, and it was a good.
Damn good sandwich.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh,
Rolled for the sandwich. You
Mhm.
guys. Oh my God.
oh, they found some good bread.
Yeah, we did. It
So
was-
this is why you guys barely got anywhere last week. I'm rolled for my
No,
sandwich.
listen, they uncovered clues, not clues, but
Okay.
clues.
Not me.
But yeah, because that would be HR violation if they uncovered that.
Don't do that. No.
Please Okay.
It was
So
all
nobody's
part of-
asked him any
it was all-
questions.
these were all tactical decisions.
Oh well, no.
Sandwich
We've
is
asked the questions.
tactical.
He's on the verge of confessing. He's clearly guilty. Daddy cut him off, so he cut off Daddy.
Well, there's some things that I found out in the autopsy room that I wanted to bring up, and this is convenient because you are now here.
Please do.
The deceased's
I have
heart.
something I need to add to this conversation that no one has mentioned yet, but I'm in the other room. And it's a really important fucking plot point too.
Well, I don't know
Should-
this. Them two over there would know that you
Well, would
know
it make-
shit.
Would it make sense though that you would pull Meat into the room to get the full lowdown though before you?
No, because I just asked why Meat was in there, and I was told that he was supposed to watch him. So I'm going off of the information that they just gave me. He's there to watch him.
You're going to want the coroner's report in full, I imagine, but the salient point is that there was some arcane inscriptions on the deceased's heart, which the coroner, whose word I've trusted for many, many years, he's very good at what he does, seem to
Bob's
indicate that the deceased
Not that Bob. I'm just naming the coroner Bob.
No, his name is Ethos.
ethos.
Oh, damn.
Um,
Ethos. Okay, fine. Ethos. He's awesome.
The inscription's magical and designed to prevent resurrection, he thinks, but we haven't had a chance to get an eyeball on it, so to speak. So whoever did the hit had an incredible degree of training and likely some magical aptitude as well.
Okay, and do we know that Bertram does any of this arcane shit?
I haven't been in the room.
He's like,
That's Percy.
I don't know. No,
This
not
is the
this
first I've
Percy's
heard
got
of.
the file. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
Oh no, Percy has 2 sheets of has his rap sheet and then like all the garbage paperwork you could find in a folder. That's what he has. Just this was meant to intimidate Bertram. No, this is the first Percy's hearing about the ruin because he's been in that room the entire time.
Yeah.
So he magic.
So I'm gonna see
Yeah.
Percy then with like a bunch of paperwork. So then I'm going to direct my attention to Percy.
This is mostly
Right.
garbage.
Gesture. I'm
At
not
which
even gonna
point-
say anything.
At which point you hear a sound like a shotgun going off from the other room, and it's just
great.
Meat cracking his neck.
Pow! Pow!
Oh, that's amazing, Bob.
Oh, I kind of heard that one.
So Percy basically looks at you like standard interrogation technique. Does the whole like book flipping through the pages thing, like stops, takes out like a tenth of what's there, gives it to you, tosses the rest. Because I've
and the rest,
basically
the rest
it's
of like nonsense.
rest of it's nonsense. I was going through this and pretending like we had a huge file on this dude and just making him sweat.
Like it was all. It
Do
was
you
like
say that to
this
me?
much was his. This much was his actual rap sheet. The
Yeah.
rest of the stack was all like reams of like the like laundry requisition forms for the precinct and like all of like the. It was just random reports that had nothing to do with them. And that was,
And
like, the best
magical
of it.
versions
What
of
I
like
had for
printer
breakfast.
test stuff.
Yeah.
I have a quick
Yes,
question. Can you just remind me of something quickly? What was
Mhm.
Greta's surname?
We did
Greta
not get
have a surname?
I asked
did
her
not-
it, so
Yes, she did. Did I write it down?
I only have Greta listed.
Yeah. Hang on.
Gryffindor.
No.
no, 'cause
Hell.
that's the wrong house.
I don't have a last name for her.
Yeah, I didn't.
While he's looking that up, Clues,
And Anakis.
Anakis. Okay.
Anakis.
you would know that
Because why not?
the regular detective's basic means of interrogating a suspect is psychological terror. So
That's your technique.
my favorite way of doing that is pretending I have just the biggest file on someone, and therefore what I threw away was garbage, and what I gave you was the real thing.
Okay, so you hand me the file.
Yeah.
Was this what, like 2 pages? Like
More. He has a history. So Bertram,
He has a
Yeah,
history.
he's essentially
history.
the only reason he's
Well,
not
I'm
a felon
assuming
and in
that-
jail.
Yeah, I'm assuming that I know, since you said that he's kind of like a regular. I kind of know of him.
Yeah,
What
he's
But when
would
you
know-
tell me, it's
what
normally
you would know.
bar.
What you would know is that he is regularly pulled out of several bars along the waterfront for
Yeah.
abusing the dancers, abusing the hostesses, abusing the staff, physically as well as verbally, and being far too drunk for his own good and thinking daddy's money will
Yeah.
get him out of everything.
yeah, and that's the only
Yeah.
reason he's not like actual in like big boy jail.
Yeah, that's
Which-
why I'm kind of annoyed, because I recognize who it is. So I walk in. Why am I here at 2:00 in the morning with some
Or
drunkard?
this
But then
asshole. Right.
you tell me there's murder involved, so it's like, oh, okay. How did we get to this point then? So, in these pages that he gives me, is there any like what do we know? So, or what's in these pages?
Well, this is just his criminal history. So these are just like the.
Okay, so I basically looked through it. I already know all this. Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have anything new in there besides the fact that there's arcana? What, on his heart? You said?
Yeah, on the actual physical organ of the deceased heart has
Yeah.
been inscribed in a circle around it, sort of arcane text. The victim died of, I believe, exsanguination. He had some pretty aggressive trauma to the arms, but almost surgically precise trauma. Ethos noted
Okay,
that
what-
it was pretty much how you would dissect, or how would you would peel the skin off of an arm in order to look at the veins and the muscles underneath. And then the wound in the heart, or the chest sternum area, to stab at the heart.
Okay.
So a high degree of skill, magical aptitude. Neither.
Bob's gonna explode if you guys don't call him in.
Yeah, well, I was
I'm
gonna
gonna-
say, Bertram's not really particularly known to me. I don't deal with him very often. I'm usually asleep, even though he hits the bar that I live at frequently. So I say we bring in Meat. Meat will give you the rundown on Bertram himself. He's very familiar. I can stay in the room with him, or if you just want us to leave him there, that's fine.
As you do, as
Leave
you
him in
suggest
there. And take the fish heads, because the dude doesn't need to eat.
Okay.
as you guys are saying that, Percy leans out and screams and says to Nobby and Clanker, who have obviously been hanging out listening in.
Yeah, they're like if you open the door too
Oh,
fast.
they've been
whoa.
eavesdropping like at the
Yeah.
door.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And he goes and he tells them to go be shadows in that room. Go.
Oh, so they. Oh, okay. So they go.
Yeah.
They go around. So Meet the door. You hear the door open. Nobby and Clanger come in there. They kind of like tap you on the shoulder and like, they need you in the other room.
All right. I
So-
stand up.
And there's this. There's
fist
this
on the
creak.
table.
The chair almost creaks with relief as you stand up.
Bertram's ass has clenched a rut into the chair.
It's gone from like a quarter to like a dime. Like it's.
No, it used to be a flat chair, and then it goes to one of those like butt shaped
No,
chairs.
it's ergonomic.
It's like, ha! Clinch!
If you had the forethought to have put a lump of charcoal up there, you would now have a diamond.
Yeah.
We call that pucker factor 10.
Pucker factor 10.
So I'll walk into the. I'll stop at the doorway. Just look back.
And squeeze through.
No, I'll just look back at. We've determined that this is a Goliath-sized door.
Oh,
they-
okay, so it actually
'Cause they
works for you.
They got tired of replacing the ones I had to kick in.
Didn't you also kick this one in?
No.
No.
No, this was designed to make
I
it look
opened
like
it
a kick.
forcefully.
I understand, but
Um,
it's Goliath strength door.
Yeah. So I just look back at Bertram, go, and walk out.
And you hear a slight little.
And
Oh, God, don't hit me.
I close the door very softly.
The door whispers shut. I'm trying to add on Dwarf Goliath strength.
At which point I would probably see who I'm. Oh, all right, E.
Yeah,
In
he
my
walks-
mind, I'm imagining like no matter how quietly you close that door, the latch will be
Oh, yeah.
the most
Ka-chunk.
dooming sound in the
Oh, it's
world.
Super loud.
crisp.
Heck,
Yeah.
It's
The
magically
acoustics-
enchanted.
The acoustics on that door for the clasp.
This
Mhm.
Are just
department gets a
astounding.
lot of money. I think that needs to be, this department is wealthy.
It
They have a
basically is
fucking
like
scrying mirror.
if you had to translate it from latch sound into words, it's "you're gonna rot forever."
I made
Brood.
with like a twinkling sound. It's a chipper. You're gonna die.
Like he closes, it goes na 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 na
Ah!
na na. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
And
So
then,
like he'll see, like
and
he'll
the sound
see
of me walking away is dun dun dun. Another one bites the dust.
Ah! Brilliance, pure brilliance.
So he'll see that E is there. I go, all right, E, and he'll sort of like get a little bit more professional.
Like straightens up a little bit, tries to like tuck
Yeah.
things in a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I would have kind of that warm connection to Meat and,
Yeah.
maybe soften up a little bit and hi Meat.
What are you doing here?
Mr. Bertram in there, I was told,
I'm
may
guessing
have killed someone.
they haven't given you the lowdown.
We tried.
All right, follow me. So I lead him back to like the detective's office. Because you know how I was going through my book of like CSI for dummies earlier?
Yeah, to find out what an archduke was.
I not just that, but like I figured that I'd be putting the wall together,
hmm
like with pictures of
Yes.
everything and like right. So I'll be like, right, we've got
That's a
Tormund
sheep.
vanDyne, the deceased. Wife Ilsa vanDyne, not deceased. Son Bertram vanDyne, bastard, and not in the way that his parents.
And
weren't
that's like the
married.
label on it, but it's like spelled wrong. But it does say.
Actually, no, it just says twat.
Because he can't
One
spell
says
bastard.
Dead, one says not dead.
It says but just crossed out twat.
Twat.
What?
Times. Like try spelling it like once. No, that's not right. No, that's not right. Not dead.
Fuck
And
it,
then-
twat.
And then Greta Anakis, housekeeper. Greta was being blackmailed to have sexual relations with Tormund,
The deceased.
the deceased,
Dead. Dead.
no, an ex-merchant.
DED dead.
Yeah.
Ex-merchant.
At the same time, Greta also overheard Bertram and Tormund having an argument yesterday.
Wait, who is Tormund?
Tormund is the deceased Bertram's father.
Okay, that's the dad. Okay.
Yep. The money train, the meal ticket,
Got it.
right? Bertram claims he's not been to the house in a week. So
Okay.
either it wasn't Bertram having an argument with his dad over money, or he's a liar.
So we don't have any proof one way or the other yet
Well, we have a witness in
that saw him at the
Greta.
house.
Yes.
Okay. So
2
Greta
days
saw him.
prior. Like I think it was like she said the day prior, right?
Yeah. The day before the murder, she
The
saw him
mother
there.
saw.
Okay.
The mother did not see him. Greta
Really?
saw him.
I think
Greta-
the-
oh, okay.
You told me Greta saw him. 'Cause
No,
that's
she
where-
did. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or we didn't ask the mother. The mother didn't said she hadn't seen Bertram in a while.
hmm
Bertram
Okay.
claims he's not been to the house in a week. Um,
No, the mother said that this from my notes that where I interacted with her. She says Bertram's lost his way. He was last here last night, argued about money,
Mm.
and
So the mother and Greta both saw him.
Confirmed his presence.
Okay.
Ilsa vanDyne, mother, did not know about the covert relations. Covert, like the word, learned that from you. Right?
Uh-huh.
Amazing.
Bloody good at their job, this one. Ilsa does not know about the relations with Greta and Tormund. Greta was a non-willing participant in these, activities.
Doings.
That shit.
Activities. There was some evidence of breaking and entering on the window from
Okay.
the outside in, but you would not be able to move from the window to where the deceased was probably murdered without causing a sound. And the deceased, if I remember rightly, Noman did
Yes.
not have defensive wounds.
No defensive wounds on the body whatsoever.
And bear in mind, he's reading all of this off a notebook, but it's like a Goliath-sized notebook. So it's like
Page.
Clack.
Maybe he
Page.
goes to flip through.
it's almost
Like every
it's
word.
like a newspaper.
it's almost like those Flintstones ones where he's carved it into a rock. Clack.
And when you look, it's actually all pictures. It's
Yeah, it's just pictures. It's not words.
And the spell slinger, which you would be familiar with, is like the people they bring in to like cast detect magic and shit like that. Said
Yeah.
that there wasn't much residue of magic past the wound on the actual corpse.
Okay.
I think that's all I know. Like literally.
And so you guys went and you guys inspected the murder site.
Yes.
I didn't so much inspect the murder site as just kind of stand there, really.
That's fine, meat. It's okay as long as you guys went there.
There is another point,
Okay,
but
so-
Meat doesn't know it.
There was a lock on the door.
A lock on the door, but we had the window broken in.
It was a one-way lock, and the room
One-way
was
lock.
locked from the outside or inside.
Well, that
Inside.
could be
It's from
explained
the
because
inside.
Greta said that there was a combination you could put in on the outside to lock it.
Did we test to see if the
both-
combination locks?
It wasn't a combination. it
Yes,
was a
you did, and it does.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, that's right.
And that combination is also able to lock the door as well as unlock the door. According,
I want
once
to.
again, to Greta Arrakis, housekeeper.
I kind of want to. I want to look at me and be like, okay, you've got a lot of good info here.
He
Did
beams.
anyone?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He is so
And-
chuffed.
But it's kind of scary when he smiles. It's,
No, it's like the warmest. Like it's almost like at this point he's an 8-foot teddy bear. Like
You have to you have to roll a will save to not hug him.
he's so happy.
It's like, oh shit, oh,
Does meat have like a favorite treat or something,
oh, don't be like that.
Probably.
or like
not.
a like
great
a su-
thing.
like or some kind of candy or like a thing, or
What
is
are
there
you
some
give me?
kind of
You tell me
favorite
in a
thing?
Hellboy now? Give me like a Baby Ruth or something? No.
No, I just want to like give. I want to give like meat the good, something. It doesn't have
No,
to be food.
you
Just
some
give him a
kind
high
of-
five. Just
You just like literally. No, you probably don't want a high five to do with an 18 strength.
No,
Oh,
I
okay.
do not want a high foot meat.
ow.
Yeah, I mean maybe
Literally-
like
No, I
literally,
think it
like
sounds like the
pat on
compliment.
You would know at this point that just a compliment is enough. Like
Okay, good.
he's
I'm
so
gonna tell you
used to being
really-
told he's so fucking stupid.
which
Like-
we
Yeah,
have
then I
not
wanna
done
tell
to you
me-
yet.
Really good job on getting the info.
He's so happy.
Percy's looking at the
60-foot candy
rookie.
bar.
All I can think of is like rookie's first solved case. Like, what did you get the rookie for his first solved case? He's doing such a good job. And all I can think of is gigantic fucking cigar.
Yeah,
I mean,
cigar.
size of a branch.
Yeah.
Smoke this. Oh wow.
So I'm gonna lead Meat back to the scrying room, I guess it would be, and I kind of want to take a look at around. And does anyone know what Greta was being blackmailed with?
Yeah, she says that she would be kicked out of the house. Which,
Okay, so basically lose job and housing.
well,
Yeah, and she's a tiefling.
if I may, E, she's
Uh-huh.
not your standard. She's a tiefling, right? Red skin, big
Oh,
horns,
okay.
right? So she gets
Okay.
kicked out of the house, and she's probably dead by the end of the day.
Okay,
You know,
that explains it.
tieflings aren't greatly popular here in Baldur's Gate.
Yes. That was the first time I think I've heard that it was a tiefling.
Oh, I'm sorry. He now looks sad.
That's okay.
no,
No, it's okay. It
no,
wasn't you.
Dad.
It was them.
And no one's like, what? Like behind her, like, what? What?
The fuck did I do?
And when she turns around, Meek's like,
Yeah, his hands are behind his back, like,
Percy's still just sort of like thinking,
shrugs.
no, not a giant cigar. That's his entire line of thinking is just like, I'm so proud of this rookie. What is he gonna do? He's taking credit for all this. Like, my rookie's so good. Meanwhile, he's just like, this is not his.
he's also not technically a rookie. He's
Who,
been
you?
a cop for 5 years.
Rookie.
But you're a rookie detective.
Well, yeah, this is his first case on the detective.
Yeah.
I guess, but
But Percy's like, in his mind, all your skill is thanks to him.
oh right, yeah.
So that kind of dickwad. Okay, cool.
So nobody's found out if Mr. Bertram here can actually do any of this magic to have possibly killed his father.
With respect, Miss, Bertram has a history of paying off people to do things for him.
Okay, so there might be another person involved.
There may be some form of hit, yes.
Okay.
Also, I don't quite know what he found, but I know that Noman had a look on the roof.
Yes, and like while you were leading,
I'm gonna look at Noman.
as you were leading us up to the office, or rather leading me. I don't know if you wanted us to.
I'd
Come
have
with.
taken everyone, yeah.
Okay,
Because I wanted to show everyone like my board.
Right. Well,
And it's got red strings everywhere. They don't necessarily mean anything.
Because it's like
It's got like a smiley face.
from like Ilsa vanDyne to like a picture of a sheep.
Yep.
To like
it's okay, but like
There's like a map. There's like a map of the city, but it's like
But
a
it's not-
huge map, and it's all taking place in this like one little corner.
I
and
think.
it's of river deep.
Yeah, I think
And it's of water. It's of water deep. It's
Yeah.
not even.
it's not
wrong.
even.
It's not even the right
That's
map.
the wrong city.
Wrong map.
That's not the point. The point is that he knows he's getting it done.
It's somehow it makes sense to him.
So I think that Noman is almost the polar opposite of me. He's totally unfamiliar with you. He doesn't work with special agents very often. Like this is
So
kind
he's
of
kind of fidgety and comfortable.
he's like, well, that and like he really does suspect that like they've done something, like there's been a missed piece, or you're here because of a fuck up, or like something like that. So he's like running through his brain because he's the connector. So he's like, his brain is in sixth gear trying to figure out what the fuck is going on and why you are here. So he's like gathered like all the shit on his desk into a pile, and because it's all about the scene, and he's brought it to the room, back to the interrogation room, and he's like very crisply like laying it out in a sequential order, like in not necessarily a pattern, but in rows that are easy to digest. And he's like, so. We determined primary entry through study window. I believe
Mhm.
it was as you're sitting away from the window, it would have been the window on your left-hand side behind your left shoulder. Very, very high quality breaking and entry tool used, likely the same as the murder weapon. We're expecting some sort of thin, flexible dagger.
Sorry, I'm distracted.
Yeah, I saw that.
I expect me to be doing this in real life.
You see
No,
anything?
Putting
No, I
post-it
didn't.
notes
if
on the
we're
wall, like,
if we're back in,
connection.
if we're back in
Question.
the viewing room,
Mhm.
he is just staring at Bertram,
Mhm.
even though
Okay.
Bertram can't see him.
But he feels it.
Yeah. Roll a will save, Bertram. You feel watched. You feel watched.
Wait a minute. Oh, Jack die. Oh, Bertram tinkles. No,
Just a little bit. Just a little. Just like a little bit.
He's
Huh?
pants.
So, very high quality dagger, thin enough to
Well-
fit through the sill of a window.
I'll stop you there. Do we know if the heart that had the Arcana runes on it, was it all over or just on a side?
It was in a circle around the heart. So, sort
Circle
of
around the heart.
Um,
So there was no directional, essentially.
no, not necessarily
Okay.
of the inscription. It's just a circle around basically the center of the heart. We can
Okay.
go get the heart if you'd like.
I trust you. I'm trying to decide if it was something that was done instantly or if there might have been a conflict.
It's entirely possible that this was instantaneous. The level of detail and the level of the size of the text alone would have been impossible to do on the heart from the angle and the narrowness of the wound. So
Okay.
I think it was instantaneous. The basic information that I have about the murderer thus far, based on the footprints that we've discovered, the gate size, the size of the walking gait of the
Mm-hmm.
person, roughly 5'10" individual, gender unknown, size 9 boots.
Do we know if it's likely human or not?
Difficult to tell.
Okay.
The proportions of the individual suggest human or half-orc, in my opinion, just based on the size. A smallish half-orc, I grant you, but...
Okay.
Entry point, as I said, was the window.
Mhm.
Entry route was from roof down. High-quality grapple and rope were used.
Was
to-
that left over, or was that just you could tell?
Just what I could tell, based on the tracking lines through the dust and dirt, and
Okay.
the deformation and scarring on the stone. So likely entry and exit, same window, entered and left by the roof as well.
And then from the roof, jump
Potential-
down or teleported, or
No, the way this neighborhood is arranged, all these houses are in a line together.
they're close.
They're
Okay.
close. Yeah, they're close enough that it would not be a challenge at all for a person to cross roof to roof on their way out of the neighborhood.
There's also the possibility that they went out of the study door and locked it behind them.
Also true. I did find footprints leading away, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're the exit footprints. They could have left through the house as well.
Leading.
Was it the same footprints as the size 9 that you said earlier?
Go ahead, Bob.
No, meat, literally.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Meat,
Yeah,
yes.
Meat is like.
Meat raises his hand.
Ooh,
And busts his knuckles in the ceiling. Like, ah!
he's like doing the whole.
Yes.
You found tracks leading away from the body
Found them on
into
the
the
roof.
house.
No, I'm sorry. I found those tracks on the roof
Oh, right, okay.
to the point where they were going down, and then also away.
Right.
Same boots.
But you said there were footprints leading away from the study door.
No, I did not find footprints leading away from
No,
the
that's what I was clarifying. Sorry, you.
Okay. So all footprints are on
Breaking
the
out the
roof.
vocabulary today.
Look, the woman has
Of course.
taught me well.
The correspondence
Yes.
course is working.
I'm sorry, I missed that. E? Or
All
special
footprints
agent?
are on the roof.
All the ones that I found were on the roof, yes.
Or did you look at the other roofs
We
surrounding?
did surround we did check the surrounding roofs. There was not much to leave prints on, or with, I should say. Not as much
Okay.
dirt or dust. It wasn't particularly wet, so there was no mud to track. I only found 3 individual prints themselves, all from the same boot.
If this was from a high arcane person, did anyone do an arcana check to possibly follow the magic?
There was
Spells.
Sorry.
Go ahead, meet. Go ahead. Oh. Spellslinger was in sight, but I don't know if he made it to the roof by the time we left. They were still in the midst of their investigation.
We left the scene with the captain and the High Duke talking, and thought it best to proceed with the apprehension of Bertram vanDyne, and allow the spellslinger to do his work and get back to us.
Okay, so we're waiting on word from the spellslinger.
Yes.
Okay. I want to look at Meat again and say good job for getting all this info.
He's happy. He's like happy in like this part of his face, but everything else is like
And glaring.
and everything else just wants to murder Bertram.
I'm happy
God,
right here.
Creepy looking.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Gleeful murder face.
Whew,
Sorry,
okay.
I'm fiddling with my notes from last session.
See, I made a point to not make a note of anything Meat didn't hear, because I wouldn't know.
Right.
Hmm.
Did someone just get
So
a
at this
message?
point, yes, someone
Okay.
did.
I think I heard
don't know
Skype
who,
or
but someone
Discord
did.
go off.
Whoop.
I'm not sure what that
I
was.
just want to make sure it wasn't my Skype or Discord.
Not it.
I don't know.
All right, whatever.
I have
I'm not
like
sure what that
31
happened. If it
messages.
happens again, I'll make a thorough check of because the only things I have open are
It's all good.
2 of the.
It's all good.
Yeah,
Don't
okay.
worry about it.
So basically, it was me.
I just want to make sure Zoom isn't going crazy again.
Gotcha.
So right now we basically want to try and get Bertram at the very least to say he was in the house.
He has openly denied the fact that he was there, even though 2 witnesses have placed him in the house. Yes.
Yeah. But we still don't know. There's nothing directly leading us to Bertram other than suspicion
And motive.
and motive.
And perhaps financial ability to hire a perp.
Well, he's the son and the wife is still alive. So unless he's directly written into the will,
Dad-
do we have the will?
We have heard from the wife that Bertram stands to inherit his dad's business,
Okay.
and their disagreement was over the fact that Dad was about to cut Bertram off from any money. So the motive would be, I don't want to be cut off from the rich people money.
Okay. And kill him before he can change his will.
Exactly.
Okay. So we just don't have anything direct other than suspicion and motive.
It's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, that's for certain. But if his whole thing in the past is just being a rowdy douchebag, would that go from that step?
Sorry. Noman actually snorts like
Yes, me. Go ahead.
He has been actively violent with several ladies on the
That's
waterfront,
true.
this would not be that great of an escalation, ma'am.
Okay.
And he's very formal about that. Very formal about that. You would probably know that Meat just wants to rip this guy in half for being a misogynistic prick, basically.
Yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to pull Meat out initially, because I want him to have some thinking time before I go in there.
some time before Wrath.
Well,
Yes,
the
pre-
thing is,
I wanna-
giving him thinking time is just giving him more ways to kill him.
Not
This
Meat
way?
thinking
Bertram.
I
time.
could-
Oh, the other
thinking
guy
time.
thinking time. All right.
No, you I know.
I was thinking about treating
I
him
would
like a
probably-
mayonnaise jar.
Oh, look, your head comes off. Oh, it doesn't go back on. Oh, I broke
Yeah,
this
like-
one.
No.
Just hold it out to Noman, like, fix it.
And I'm like, Noman's like, there's nothing I can
Can't.
fix. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah, it's like me looking at the other two, like, why would you leave Meat in there? He might kill him. I mean, okay. All right.
When you mentioned that you're going to be well, you haven't mentioned that, but Percy realizes you're probably going to go back in there, and he's like, you may want some notes, like more
Yeah,
stuff for the folder. So he starts like collecting more papers to put in the folder, like the pile he threw on the ground is now back in his hands. Some
Oh no.
random napkins get put in between a couple of pages just to bulk it up, and
Meat draws a smiley face.
They're
on a
all
piece of
different
paper and hands it
colors.
out.
Some of them are
Yes.
used. Some of them are Percy.
Yes, some
Or
of-
some of our Noman's used napkins.
someone in Omen's
And
just
they
a little bit
smell
of
like
mustard.
pickles and ass.
Yeah.
Meat just draws like a.
I'm glad
smiley
that you're
face on a
enjoying this,
piece.
Ryan.
Meat just
I'm
draws
just
a
gonna.
smiley
I'm
face.
gonna take the folder that has like crumpled up pieces, so it's not exactly sitting flat, and kind of smush it a little. Tuck it next to my arm. Thank you.
Yeah, Meat literally just draws a smiley face.
Nice.
Okay, so then I want to walk into the interrogation room, and I
So,
want to tell the two.
I want to do the full on
Oh.
like I'm gonna open the door for her. This
Okay.
way, special agent. If he
Oh,
gives you, and I'll
ooh,
be,
I love it.
and I'm gonna be like, and if he gives you any trouble, just holler. I'll be right here. I step out, close the door, and then clang
Don't
with the
close
lock.
the door yet.
Oh, okay.
The two dudes are in there, so I'm gonna kind of do the shoo.
Well,
And
no,
they
go
I
away.
wouldn't say the thing till Nobby and Thingy are out.
Yeah, so
It'd
they
be
come
like-
in, shoo, they get up, and and they're like trying to burn holes into him as well. I mean, because it's just like,
And it's going poorly.
yeah, well, there's the reputation that this guy has. Rowdy douchebag.
Yeah,
daddy's
no one
boy.
likes this man. This man is
No.
like the most unloved person on earth.
Yeah, but you can see he maybe looks like he might have relaxed just a little bit, just from having some time away from Meat and from the mental onslaught of Percy. Just going through his entire history of, oh, so you're 5'10", right? Okay, yeah, no, I don't care.
Did
And-
that ever get cured?
Oh, it looks like you have a standing appointment at the local apothecary for. Ooh.
Ooh, that's permanent, right?
What does ED stand for?
Amazing. Amazing.
If we ever get fan art, I want the fan art of just the file of all the random
The different sheets and what everything says.
With a plate of fish heads next to it.
Yeah. Oh God.
With the fish heads. But I asked that to be removed, so
We
those
need
should
to-
be gone.
Okay, so they grab. One
Oh.
of them grabs the. Nobby grabs the plate, and they leave out, and Meat, does his whole of I'll be right outside. Door shuts again. Now, are we doing the quiet close, or are we doing
Oh,
the?
it's the
That's
very.
up to me.
It's like we'll be right in if there's any problems. Very quiet
It's the
close.
firm,
but
but
you know what it is?
soft.
If you lift the door a certain way, it goes.
Click.
And then just that noisy.
And it's like this
crunk.
clang, and it's just and the squeak of the door is like obscenely long for.
Yeah.
for
It's like
long.
it's too long. It occupies a
It
space of time.
closes and it's still going.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this door has been engineered by the town watch to create any number of scenarios for those sitting in that room.
We are
The only
really
thing you
wealthy.
can't
This
change-
department gets a
This
shitload of.
department is well funded.
The only thing you can't do is change the sound of the latch. Clang.
It's always the clang.
Yeah. So
Okay, so
yep.
door closes. I've
So-
still got this folder. I kind of
And-
just.
as you sit down, he kind of.
I'm not
he looks-
sitting down yet.
Well, as you come in, he kind of like forces. He's like purposely not making eye contact with Meat. So even when Meat was in the door, he was like kind of doing a thing where he's trying to like look past him, right?
I'm looking at you, but I'm not looking at you.
Yeah, like I don't notice that he's here. But it's like so he's trying so hard not to look at him that it's obvious.
He might be having an aneurysm. That's how hard
Yeah,
he's trying.
well, it's like one of those things where it's like you know when you've had that person who like you just don't like, or that they don't like you, and they're making such a big deal about not looking at you that it's like you might as well just be staring at me because it's obvious.
And it's very hard not to look at Meat because Meat takes up a lot of your visual space.
He occupies a chunk.
He's your
Shut
visual
the door.
field. He is the visual field. He's right here. So, but door closes and you come in, and he does, and Bertram does kind of like this, kind of look up and down it's lascivious. There's something.
Man, this guy's got some real stones when Meat's not in the room.
Okay, yeah, and it's real. Okay, and you can kind of see he kind of takes on this posture, of, whether it's because half elf, whether it's because woman, whether it's because not rich,
I think-
that's
I think Percy and Noman would like exchange like a oh shit look with each other on the other side of that scrying mirror. Like this guy's gonna get his fingers broken.
So you can see he kind of takes on like the body language of trying to be dismissive, trying to act like he's not sitting in a jail cell and he's not terrified of what's on the other side of the
And
door.
then he didn't just clench a diamond with his ass cheeks.
that the chair is suddenly more comfortable
Like,
from its new ergonomic structure that he's worn into it.
Well, then the first thing I want to do is take the folder. I'm gonna walk in. I'm gonna put on a very try and change the air up, do the more pleasant smile, but not smile, just
See,
kind of
this,
a nice.
this dude's been bad copped for a while.
Yeah, I want to put the nice softer feel in the air, and I'm just gonna kind of walk over to the hopefully a trash bin that's sitting in the corner and take the folder and drop it in
thump.
the trash bin. Get bunk, and you just see papers kind of going everywhere.
You just hear let's see if I can do this. You hear the
Yeah, it's with a little bit of a walk back over, and I don't want to. I'm assuming there's chairs and like the table and stuff, and I don't want to sit down on the chair. I kind of want to half butt onto the
On the
table,
table.
put the hand down. Yeah, just kind of
Uh-oh.
like lean. I'm a little bit closer, and it's a little bit more personal.
Ugh. This is gonna go so poorly for him. It's gonna be so bad.
Meat is 30 seconds from kicking this door in.
Like
He's got his hand on the
his
door.
hand
His hand is on the latch. Like,
Okay, you know the Incredibles movie, like where Robert Parr crushes that doorknob in his hand. That's exactly what's
Yeah.
happening to the wrought iron fixture outside. It's like he's clenching it like a
Meat is
soda
not
can.
a
I kind of
fan.
hear it.
Meat is not a fan right now.
Do not like. Do not like. Do not like. Do not like.
Do not want.
make hurt with hands.
Make hurt with hand.
Now, do I have any interaction with Bertram in the past? Like, have I had to interrogate him, or does he even know me because he's just been kind of small time
Nah,
up till this point?
Yeah, up to this point, it hasn't. it hasn't risen to your level where they've needed like a special interrogator to come in.
Okay.
They usually reserve you for the cases that require a high, you have a high close rate, so they're usually reserving this for the. Get your head out.
Bob's reaction. Sorry.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
Hashtag phrasing.
Phrasing.
So yeah, you're aware of who he is.
Yeah.
Based, so if like these guys are more like the standard like Law and Order murder investigators, they're called in for that. You're more on like the criminal intent side of things, where it's like more like major crimes. That's usually where you're called in. Ones that are maybe a little bit more politically sensitive.
Okay. So I'm gonna have that little bit more of a close nature with him, and just
And he
like,
notices.
Oh, hi. I've been brought in here to kind of talk to you. Is there anything I can get you? I saw the fish heads. Are you hungry, thirsty?
I could eat.
What do you like? We don't have much, but are you a sandwich person? So I'm thinking of sandwiches.
Brian, I need you to fuck this up for him. I need you to make him say something that's going to get meat into the room. Because if the one thing that he can say right now that's going to kill him is you.
I don't think Bertram is quite.
He's not
that bold?
that stupid.
He's not that, because he knows meat's on the other side of the door. Now he's just like.
I'm gonna keep the eye contact. There's lots of eye contact going on.
Yeah, give me a persuasion or I'll try that. What were the things we gave you? We gave you
perception,
you
insight.
persuasion, and
give me a
insight.
persuasion. Give me a persuasion check there.
Okay. That would be a 22. That's an actual natural 20.
Whoa. Okay. So
Womp, 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 womp.
Oh.
That's a hey.
Womp womp womp. So yeah, that's actually yeah. So that obviously works. He's you can see his body language like relaxes. He kind of kicks back a little bit, and he's just like, "What are you having?"
Oh God.
Well, I
Don't have to
did
eat.
grab my favorite coffee on the way in, and I happened to get an extra croissant.
A croissant.
Croissant.
Sure.
Okay. They can see me, so I'm gonna kind of do the finger wave and bring it in, because I'm assuming they can hear me, right?
Yeah. No, absolutely, they can hear.
Okay.
No one will get this.
Okay.
And he'll I assume it's in a wrapped in butcher paper or something like that.
Yeah, you
And,
see me put it down when I came
right.
in.
He'll go up to the door and be like, "I'm gonna go inside."
Mm-hmm.
It's probably a good job because meat would just bring it in and flatten it
Yeah.
Squish.
on his head.
Or do the other thing where you just go, "Oh, is this yours?"
Lick it.
I licked it like eight times.
I'm moistening it for
I
you.
licked it, so it's mine.
Nah, so yes,
Mine
okay.
now.
So, but meat opens the door because he kind of is the door right now.
Er,
Well, no, so
he opens the door, but he doesn't go in. Just so that reminds him that he's just outside the fucking door.
And you just see this enormous, like gray log of an arm just pushes the door. Noman, you go in, you.
And he's never seen Noman before, so he's got a green dragonborn in the room now.
Mm-hmm. And he's.
he hasn't seen you yet?
He's never met me.
No, but he's not even paying attention to you. He is locked in on Elytrana. He's just. He's there. He thinks he's kind of he's working his magic right now. Because chicks dig bad boys.
Mm-hmm.
I look over at John. Paul. Sorry, got the wrong beetle.
No problem.
And I just give him this look. The face just says, if he touches her, he's fucking dead. That's what the face just. I don't even have to give words.
No.
Communicated it all that packet of information.
It's
landed.
just like the.
There's a
There's
seething.
a lot of fidgeting going on.
He's literally like. You remember how he described that, like his longsword, like it cuts the air when it comes out. He's literally unsheathing it and sheathing it like an inch at a time, like.
Just with the thumb.
No. He's
Like-
got his hand on the hilt, right?
Oh,
But
okay.
he pulls it out an inch, and then after about 30 seconds, he's like, nope, nope. No.
Every
first I thought
time
you were
that he
describing it
moves,
like
it's
a-
just
Every time he speaks, the sword comes out. It's like,
At first, when you said you had he had his thumb on his sword, I had this like long sword version of the pen clicking
Yeah.
thing, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Noman brings E the croissant.
I'm not gonna look. I'm just gonna kind of grab it, slide it across
And
the
then,
table.
He stands there to see if you need anything else, and if you give him no sign, he leaves.
I'm just gonna kind of do. Thank you.
Door closes.
Do the-
Actually, he would say. He would probably say, "You're welcome, Special Agent."
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Like
And then-
very formal. Clang.
With the glare.
Yeah,
No.
you see a single eye.
No.
This is an arm that
You
disappears into
literally
the
just
other room.
see. You just see the one arm close this very heavy door.
Clang. Latch closes again.
Oh, man.
It's incredible.
And he
So
takes
yeah, I'm gonna kind of slide it across the table.
and he takes a second. He's doing the whole eye contact thing, you know.
Oh no, wait. So if he's skeptical, then I want to just kind of tear off a piece and really slowly
Oh,
put it in my
God.
mouth.
Oh God!
This is gonna get uncomfortable.
It is. It's already
What do
uncomfortable.
you mean get?
It is uncomfortable. God,
And
what
so
a,
he
what a
sees that
stupid bastard.
little hint of a smile there, you know. Again, body language is relaxing a little bit, so he's goes in there and he.
Yeah, it's like a chocolate. So there's a little bit of chocolate with finger in the mouth. And,
Oh no!
Ah,
I would like to point out. Earlier, I said that